Hello and welcome to Nuts About Design, the podcast from Pistachio Design. Today we have a very special episode. We have several of the lovely, should we call them nutters?
Yes,
from Pistachio here with us today. We have Mr. Lee Wilkinson, we have Mrs. Aman Malash, and we have Mr. Paul Johnson. Say hello, people.
Hello,
Hi.
people.
Hello, people.
Hello, people.
Hello, everybody. This is going to be like crowd control. Right. So today we'll be talking about AI and how it affects different people in their jobs. Now, obviously, Lee, we touched on it slightly earlier where we were talking about using AI to write briefs or content even for jobs. How are you feeling AI is working with you, I suppose?
I think that encapsulates it quite well. I think it's working with us. I think we've got to embrace it and use it to our advantage. And it definitely helps go from a blank canvas into getting something down. And then you can start to kind of mould and scope from there. So it's definitely, from the early point of getting a brief together, it's very beneficial for that.
Now, we are all having some fun at the moment with our AI even. And we have been creating our own characters. We've been exploring a bit of ChatGPT where we possibly can. Paul, you had a little foray into it where your hand went a little bit weird when picking up coffee.
Yes, so I took a static image from ChatGPT and put it into an AI application to make it into a film or a movie or a video.
Yeah.
And it was 80% there. There were still glitches where things like picking up items and any kind of movement had glitches in it. So that may come down to prompts. But it was quite impressive what it did to a static image that had been generated by ChatGPT, gone into another AI application to then turn that into a moving video of that particular static image, which was very impressive.
Yes. Even looked a little bit like you.
Well, it was the dwarf of me.
Lee, we were talking during the briefing session about the fact of prompts, weren't we? We were talking about how briefs are like prompts in AI, that if you don't put the right prompts in, you don't get the right stuff out.
Correct.
We did. Yeah. But is anybody using AI in daily life for strange things? Emmy, you were mentioning about how your friend actually...
Yeah, I mean, yes. She said like she lives abroad, but she was contacted by a client because they searched her name on AI and you just give them a whole brief. So if you put your name, who is Marie Holden, it will bring up like...
Well, it might not give up mine.
Maybe,
I mean, it definitely won't for Paul because he can't even get through passport control.
So he probably will get like books and books out of who is Paul Johnson would be like.
You never know, it might come out like he's an astronaut or something.
Okay, well, we need to try that. But I did put a name. I put myself in, and it brought up stuff about me. Kind of lots of it, but I think.
Oh, we might have to try that.
Yeah, try that. I think it's things what you put around like in LinkedIn and stuff like that.
So
So
there are various AI applications that you can use for sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is called Perplexity, and it can research companies and people and personas. So you can use that as a tool. So if you are looking to, for example, if I'm trying to contact Lee, because he's my target audience on LinkedIn, if you use Perplexity, it will basically dig out all the information, look at your LinkedIn profile, dig out all the key information about you, and ultimately research you.
Wow.
Look at the things you like, the things that you mention a lot of, and then you can use things like Claude to then write emails or LinkedIn mails to you, touching on all the things that it's drawn from your profile.
Oh, so it's more.
So it's personalised to you and looks like I've looked at you, but actually it's all done by AI.
That's a bit scary, isn't it?
Stalking
You can use things like and you can use things like Mixmax to send emails and email sequences as well. So there are lots of AI tools that you can use.
It's becoming scary now.
Yeah.
This podcast.
Yeah. So from a sales and marketing perspective, AI
Yes.
can basically completely automate the way you do prospecting.
Makes it, I think, more efficient and effective.
Well, yeah, but then my thing with that is, if I was receiving that, you're going to start to kind of fathom it out a little bit. So is the old age cold call going to come back with something like that? Because it's a real person. But you can even get AI voice.
This is it.
Voice work now. So,
yeah.
And I was talking about this recently with a voiceover artist who was talking to me about the AI's involvement in her line of work, and there are services out there where you can get voiceovers done by AI.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think it's one of the things that you have to be careful with. I mean, I think it's just a
We
double-edged
have-
sword.
Yeah, I mean, we have used, or we've tried to use before, there's quite a complex concept that you want to run past a client without spending hours and hours, but to give a good idea of what it might look like for just kind of initial rough idea. I think you still have to then create it, because it's got to be fairly kind of bespoke and actually work, like Paul said. You either end up with it when they're trying to move that their hand goes to a coffee cup, or they end up with 3 legs, or hands are always difficult, aren't they? You always end up with somebody with
I've not quite mastered
I guess
fingers yet.
I think with everyone saying how they used AI in some extent, it's never 100% tool that you used without having to put your input in it. And I think I find it in my work that it speeds things up. Some bits it just speeds it up. You're looking for stuff to fix some issues I've got while I'm coding or doing something. It just speeds the process.
So how do you use that, Emmy? How do you use the
it's
AI?
lots of, sometimes like I'm designing something or working on a website and I get stuck in something, and then I just quickly ask it how this come across, and it quickly
When you say
brings
ask what, who?
any AI, like DeepSeek or ChatGPT, something like that, and I just ask it, and it will just bring.
Do you see? I still Google. I'm old school.
I found that it just gives you the steps. In Google, it gives you a list of places that you have to go and look at. This one will just grab the solutions.
I've never thought of
steps.
using it like that.
Oh, I use it all the time.
Yeah, it started to, for me, be more of a Google. What was a Google search now? But even Google's got the top answer is an AI answer.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the nice thing about it, with Google as a search engine, which is great, but you go in, you put in a question, and it will come up with all of the answers and resources across the website, across the internet.
And you have to collate them and
make
sure that is that the right one. Sometimes it's just something that is there that's mentioned 1 or 2 words, and it's not like you want to look
it's
for.
not. Yeah.
But AI actually it's like it sieves it into what you need to know. So
Absolutely.
It makes it really
But
fast.
with something like ChatGPT, you can actually have a conversation back.
Oh yeah.
So then you can delve
Maybe
a
I
little
should
bit
just
deeper.
have a conversation with them, on a date, on the down low, during the day, have a little chat.
You can.
You can.
You can. There's a voice on ChatGPT. If you've got it on the phone, you can actually talk as if it's a real phone conversation.
Really?
Yes, and they'll
Does that work for lonely widows?
I was actually trying to. My sister wanted to write a long, message, or she wanted me to write something for her, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And I was doing it in Arabic actually. So, I held my phone, and there was a voice. And I was, instead of typing, I was talking to it in actually Egyptian Arabic for a long time. And I was writing down everything I said in the dialect as well, properly, and it changing it, and I say made it better. I was like, oh my God, I did not have to do anything.
See, Google is my friend. For someone who can't spell, right, that the spell check does not understand me, right? Nobody understands me like Google.
I told you, I spoke to it in Egyptian Arabic. So it's like,
yeah.
wow. So So,
You're saying I've got to cheat on Google?
yeah.
Have an open relationship.
I think Google already using.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But from
No, but doesn't Google have its own?
Yeah. Well,
It has
it's
own
what's it
AI.
called?
Gemini or something.
Gemini, yeah.
Yes.
But from a work perspective, I guess from our side of things, Lee, when we're looking after clients and talking about briefs and having project calls or whatever it may be, and there are versions on Zoom and places like that, but there are specific AI apps that can actually record the call, decipher the call, pull out all the key actions from the call, give you a synopsis of what took place on the call, generate all of that and then spew it back to you, and you can then almost share that back to the client to say, this is everything we discussed, these are all the action points for you, these are all the action points for me, and here's an overview of the call, etc. So there's so many AI tools out there that you could use for that perspective, but what we need to also realise is that there's hundreds and probably thousands of all these AI tools that do all these different things, for many different things. But what you can do is then utilise a selection of these AI apps, okay, to help you do a certain part of your job. And you can't do it via one thing.
Just suite.
It is. It's like a little toolbox of AI apps that help you do certain things. So, from a project delivery perspective, I was looking at it earlier, and I attended a webinar as well about it. I was around there talking about it, and some of the things you can use, say from a project delivery perspective, we touched on briefs earlier about writing briefs. Well, what happens if you get a brief from the client? Okay, you don't need to write a brief, but you can use things like Claude AI to convert briefs into specifications and requirements. So it can take that large brief that you get, break it down into what's the specs, what are the requirements, and then you've distilled that brief into something that's consumable for maybe our design team or our web team, for example. You can think that.
Does it talk designer though?
Well,
our delicate egos need.
Well, we won't touch on egos, but yeah.
Ego's gone up.
But things like ClickUp as well separate the specs into actual tasks as well. So you might have a list of specs, but what are the tasks out the back of that as well? Well, actually, there's another AI tool that enables you to do that. And then there's things like Sybil, as I mentioned, where you can record calls, etc., and actually create the follow-up actions and all that sort of stuff. So from project delivery, there's just 3, but you probably need about 5 in total for each kind of touch point of a project, which will basically save so much time altogether and provide a better service as well, supporting us as project managers, if you like, to help deliver a project. And that's the same for sales and marketing, that's for creative, that's for client retention, whatever it may be. But we need to realise is there isn't one app that does the thing you need.
No.
There's a suite.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
There will be.
But there's lots of different components of AI apps that you need to bring together, and you need to decide what's your problem, what are you trying to achieve, and then work out what those
the suite of
those suites
3,
are.
2 or 3 or 5.
Absolutely.
So, Emmy, also I've noticed, and you mentioned it as well, was the use of AI in WordPress that actually...
Oh yeah, I've used it actually on Divi. That sometimes actually I thought I would test it, and I actually told it, okay, I want a website of 5 pages. Just go whatever you give it a prompt, and in a few minutes it would just created the whole thing. But then it's not as good as you wanted. They have to put. It's just more generic, but it speeds up the project.
So it kind of gives you a framework to work from.
Yeah, and you can work on bits of it, and you can have it. That's why I think it's like, to what extent this is like taken away. Because someone starts an amateur can start and just do it, but then the human touch or your experience, that's still it's missing.
Yeah.
That's why you need to, at the moment, it's a good thing to speed up the process.
Yeah.
But not replace you completely.
It does really annoy me when I'm writing emails and it tries to guess what I'm writing.
Yeah.
And changes what I'm writing. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to say that. Shush. Go away.
I'm saying something else.
I'm trying to say this. Stop changing it to what you think that I'm trying to say. It thinks it knows me.
Yeah. But it is. It's.
So I guess what we're saying is that it's there to work with and aid us to speed up processes, work better and smarter. But at the end of the day, it is there just to support us and work with us rather than start
Replace
doing
us.
things.
Yeah,
And start
because-
doing things for us. I
Because you
think
can't
we just
depend.
use it as a tool to help us.
I think
ultimately.
also we use a tool called Monday, which is organisational and workflow, and I've noticed that they've suddenly
There are AI.
added the AI button in,
Yeah.
but I haven't pressed it yet,
No.
so I
We
don't
need to
know
look
what it
into that.
does.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, I suppose, at the moment, and also because it's all new and it's all competition, it's not costing anybody extra. But I think at one point it's going to suddenly become very expensive,
Yeah, that's
isn't
what
it?
they're making
There'll be-
people get used to it, depend on it,
Yes.
then have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone back and forth with ChatGTP before, and they've gone, okay, you've had your free.
Yeah.
You're now going to have to
go
pay
then,
us.
then you go to DeepSeek.
90, which is I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they started wanting money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is. I think you're right, Marie. I think that's you're gonna get plenty of free versions, and then you'll hit the ceiling, which will be set fairly low, I would think.
But I do think that they're, like as Paul said, because you actually are starting to need a suite of things, you'll get somebody almost like Adobe that have created for us, kind of Photoshop, Illustrator,
Exactly.
all in one place. I think you'll start getting somebody subscription based that will probably have all of these things in kind of a tool.
Here's your sales
toolbox.
and marketing suite of
Yeah,
Toolbox.
apps,
sweet.
for
Yeah.
You
example.
need this
Yeah.
for
You know.
this, you need this for
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I know there are companies out there. Again, I mentioned I attended a webinar. There are companies or individuals out there who are helping organisations to pull that suite of apps together
Yeah.
Dependent
to
on
depend
what they
on
need.
their need or problem. So there are humans advising
needed,
yes,
advising
still
what you
needed.
need based on the AI apps that best serve your purpose. But like you say, that's not to say that in the future, bigger organisations like Adobe, Apple, whoever,
Yes.
I go,
yeah.
well, if you have that need or you have that problem, you need this suite, download,
Yes. Yeah.
subscription charge on it,
Absolutely.
and away you go. So at the minute, we're all finding our feet. There's so many different apps out there. We don't know what's best for us, and we've got people advising us. But like you say, I think over time,
I think
lots of apps will drop off. I think
yeah.
the good ones will stay at the surface, and then you'll just get these sweet packaged up apps.
I think
that serves the
everybody
purpose.
is kind of rushing to include it into applications. So, for example, the most I've probably used it is Photoshop for kind of generating backgrounds and removing people, and that I found really helpful because obviously it can take ages to do stuff like that manually, and to be able to tell it that, well, you want to extend your background, and then they go, here's 3 options. Now, obviously, some of them are a little bit odd, but there's usually one in there that is kind of usable. And I think, as AI kind of gets better and better, we will kind of maybe not rely on it so much, but definitely
Speed up the work.
use it to kind of speed up how we work. But kind of like, say, aid us rather than take over the world.
That's the other thing is, like, the new generation, are they going to be missing out on learning the skills we learned? That's the thing.
So, interesting.
I mean, we can make things, speed things up for
Yeah.
us, but they never know how to actually remove a background because they never done it. They just
Yes.
But we actually done it.
Yeah, but you see, I used to, as I mentioned in our podcast, Emmy, I used to actually do overlays with gouache and pens.
Yeah.
So does the fact that we cut, or people can't do that now, does that make it any
I don't know.
better or worse?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think times a change.
Yeah, yes,
and
absolutely.
But there'll be something new after all these
Yes.
AI applications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Skynet.
you know,
It's going to be the robots.
Yeah, we're all
Gonna
going to turn
take
into
over.
Terminators. He's going to be John Connor. Go on.
don't look at me.
me, pick me.
What did I just do?
You just hit a jingle because now it's time for, I don't know,
Presents.
enter here.
Is it like time for quickfire questions? AI questions?
Oh, maybe.
Did I hit this one?
You did.
We should have known that.
That is so much fun.
Was
Shall-
that you or was that AI?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
was gonna
I think
say.
was it listening? I think our robot overlord was listening to me while I was. So thank you for listening to our podcast about AI today. If you have any questions for us or would like to chat to anyone of us, either to Lee, Emmy, Paul or myself or anybody else within Pistachio, then please drop us an email at hello@pistachiodesign.com. And we look forward to talking to you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.